Yep. Twitter's acting up again. Best laid plans. Welcome, everybody. Nice to see you all jumping in early. Very perceptive for those who saw and quickly jumped in as soon as they started the stage. Take just a moment and bring people over. This will also make it a little easy for us to get this one rolling. Not sure what's going
I'm
on.
always so impressed how this community always seems to know what's going on before they're told. It's genius.
Crazy smart. Okay. Everybody switching over. Hopefully, we'll get a comic to send the note center in Twitter.
I always liked Discord better anyway, because now I can talk at my computer.
Good morning.
Look, the gang's all here. Welcome, everybody. While we're waiting for a few more people to join in, Ed777, welcome. Hey, Willow Martin, I didn't see you on that really real allow list. There's a secret to adding it. A bunch of other people, Max Power and whatnot, created that. I think King Galliani, or I don't know how you say that, created it originally. As a joke. Maple, welcome. G2KM, good to see you. Dash, Rip Rock, as always. Dark Magic, Rocket Unit. It's been fun sharing some stuff with you guys during the week. Chris Tuna, welcome. Gandalf, a lot of familiar names. It's really cool. And some new ones, too. Some new ones. Cubs, welcome back. Sonoski, I don't know how you say your name. Welcome. Gatsu. Yeah, you got on the really real list, right? Just wait another minute or two. We got a lot of great stuff to share. And Atomics she shared there on Twitter. So, wow, maybe we should just kick off. What do you think, Michelle? Is it a good time to start?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, let me do official welcome. Hey, everybody, welcome to the January 27th, 2023 Townstar AMA. For everybody new here, welcome. For everybody who's been here before, welcome back. We've been doing these things one a week since the end of July. And you know, our goal is to always just communicate as much as we can. Real information, present information, stuff that's planned and locked down in the books so that when we say stuff, you guys can count on it. We call it walk the talk. And we always, like always, we got a ton of stuff to cover and go over today. Cool news, info, and then of course time for questions and answers. So hopefully everybody got their questions to Farmer Michelle yesterday. If not, we'll take some stuff live here on Discord as we normally do. So there you go, Michelle. Why don't you kick us off on our agenda?
Yeah, it's coming up to the end of January here. It's been quite an exciting month. I know for the team internally, we've made so much progress. It's been absolutely fantastic. Hopefully you guys all get a chance to see it real soon, because that new game is coming along and it is absolutely amazing. Let's see what happened this week in Townstar Live. We had a fabric box meta competition this week. The Great Sawmill NFT came out. That was added to the game. As a reminder, I just want to say that there will probably be 2 more competitions on Play Canvas as we roll through the play tests that are going to be starting up here pretty soon. I think Mysterious Leak is probably going to talk about that a little bit later. Let's see what else we got going on. Make sure if you haven't finished yet, you've played your 10 days. You need at least to get your water drum storage or run your node. It's 6 hours a day for 10 days in order to get that uncommon NFT and 10 days of play and 25 sales to get the common one. There will also be other leaks that Mysterious Leak has later for February's round of NFTs. And I think that's all I have for Townstar Live updates.
Yeah,
I'm feeling like my name is very fitting today. This is great.
Yeah.
One of the other things we did last week was announce this week, I guess earlier in the week, announce the Vox earnings adjustments. Just a quick follow up on that. So a lot of positive feedback from the town community, a little bit of concern from folks who have Voxes. I think the changes that we made, the details are in the document, and the team worked really hard to try to get us into this place where we can have a healthy economy going forward. So if you have any last minute questions on that, feel free to ask them later when we get to Q&A. And let's keep going. Michelle. What's next?
Mysterious Leak, did you want to talk about what's going on for February's NFTs? Or do you want to save that for later?
Yeah, let's save that for later.
Super. Let's move on to Godot then. Voltron.
Good morning.
No.
Hey guys.
Hey. Everybody's so happy to see you. Everybody's always happy to be here.
Oh man. Well, I want to lead off with the video. Can I deploy that straight into the Townstar discussion? Okay. I dropped this. I made this morning. Just playing locally. This is one of the features that will be available in the playtest. Let's see if anybody notices anything. Purple fire. Okay. Purple fire is good. Yeah, so this is our precision placement feature. Somebody cotton cheesecake having trouble connecting. Yeah, so it's much smoother and it supports, I guess I'll say it. I think you've said it. It supports decorations. So I put those little sunflowers in there. I didn't personally put the sunflower art in there, but in this video I did. And it's pretty cool. Being a dev, right? I'm pretty suspicious of everybody's ideas. And thanks, Sashi. But it's super fun to play with. So, I set up like some wheat fields, but I left room in between them for the sunflowers. Now, for those of you that are, min-maxers, I don't know, maybe that's 99% of the crowd, maybe not. But maybe decorations for you, you're going to find a spot for them off to the side, or you're going to use them while you're building your town out and waiting on things. For me, I'm probably going to be a little more artistic with my towns. Question from Truck Tonka. So the object does not need to align to the tile anymore. Well, there's a snap to. As you watch the video, you'll see that it snaps to, but the grid is, if you want to call it a grid, is now freeform. So what this video demonstrates is the little 1x1, let's say 1 unit length sunflower going in between and near some larger ones, right? The 4x4s. So that was pretty sweet. Who wants to hear about tech stuff that we've been doing? Anybody, or you want to keep talking about this? Yeah, it's very smooth. And we want to improve the visuals on the placement as well. We know that it's a little, visually it's a little strange to have the thing floating. Yes, more flowers, maybe some willows. Okay, so tech. Towns take data. you got to save them, right? So one of the nice improvements this week is one of our devs has reduced the space each town takes by 80% or something like that. What that means to the players is faster network transfer, faster saves, and eventually, when we get an API going that we've talked about for quite a while, whenever we get a public-facing API, not this week, not next week, but at some point, then your town info will load even faster, and you'll be able to do. It's very clean data, so you'll be able to look at that and not have to consult some kind of markup documentation or whatever. I think you'll find it very readable. So what I'm hoping personally is that people will look at that, they'll see the JSON and be like, oh, this is really easy, and then tons of third-party tools and sites and stuff will pop up even more than we have now. I don't know, Christopher, APIs in 1 month, I don't know. So for people that are in the channel, what do you think about, if my teammates here don't mind me asking the question, what's the real usage? Like, what APIs and stuff? Are you all casual? You building websites? You building tools? You just trying to scrape? Any thoughts on APIs? Well, while I'm waiting on that, we'll talk about some better messaging. Obviously, a playtest is playtest. It's not going to be perfect. If anybody has a throwback to what's it been, 2004? I was in the World of Warcraft, some of those playtests, and those had a lot of bugs, and those were some very large teams. So what we've done is we put better messaging in your JavaScript console, a little more human readable, as well as some more pop-ups when things go wrong. For example, the next playtest that we do, the upcoming one, there's an allow list that I saw some people scribbling on in this channel, which was freaking hilarious.
Comedic gold. Comedic
Yes.
gold. Watching that happen.
So if you're not in that allow list, you'll get a semi-friendly message that's like, "I'm sorry, you're not allowed to play right now." Had to put that in. Better wording on that. I'm just going through my list here. As far as the dev side of things, we're doing a little bit more on our networking to profile that and find out where the optimizations can go. Oh, Musashi, do you have that picture of, it's a meme of like 3 dudes trying to work a rocket launcher and they're putting the the wrong end into the stick, and it's like dev expectations, users playing the game. Anyway, we can test all we want. Look, okay. Yeah, so Tina, allow list is just our internal short-term shorthand for the list of people that are allowed to access the game. Obviously, when it's fully live, that'll be everybody who's not banned. But for now, we want to keep it small. We want to test the scale of our servers, and we want to, focus on the priority, getting the priority people in there first. Yes, everyone who's not banned. Yeah, so there's been some really interesting architectural changes to support a Snap 2, as you guys see in the video, as well as freeform placement. There was a question about, is it 64 by 64? Yeah, the town takes up much less memory now, so growing is a little easier. There's that allow.
You can see it's really real, official, well done,
Yes.
carefully crafted, right?
And then so many bug fixes. Sagemaker here was telling our team, for the past month or two, he's like, as we approach that first playtest, we're going to see the bugs go up because now we have more and more eyes on it, right? And things are getting real. And I'm pleased to say that the bugs that have been coming in this week have been things like, oh, this data's wrong, or this unit's carrying this thing wrong, or whatever. And that's stuff that we can fix in like 60 seconds. So the number of serious bugs have dropped to almost nothing, and the number of like, oh, we really need to XYZ on the data has gone up. So that's kind of our, I could do it on a list, but that's kind of my update on how it's going. I'm so excited. We're having successful internal playtests. Yeah, it's just really fun. It's nice to see all these pieces come together.
I've got a couple of things to share. Let's see if this one works. Yeah, there's the update, Ra, just for you, man. Just for you.
I feel like it's very sus to see Sagemaker so large on this playtest list.
I know, how did that happen?
Somebody who might have some power there, I'm not really sure. Can somebody edit that list really fast? Maybe a strike through.
There you go. All right, let me share. So Benefactor shared out some new art that we're doing. If you guys have seen the roadmap that was published, we're looking at doing an art refresh in Q2. Probably start happening sooner than Q2, but we're working on the concept stages right now. So in addition to the stuff that Sagemaker shared, I'm going to share, that Benefactor shared, I'm going to share a few more things here. Let me get these, hopefully they'll go in there. 1 second. It's not, there we go. Okay, so 3 files. The process that we're doing, just when these 3 files pop up for everybody to see, the process that we're following is to start with concepts, draw them out. These new buildings are all hand painted by our artist, and Gina, she's been recently added to the team. We're going to go ahead and take those, do models on them, do some testing in the game engine inside of Godot, work on stuff like lighting and the materials. One of the things I want to try is getting a little bit of a metallic shader going on some of those roof tiles, maybe like the lumberjack's house or the chicken coop's roof, and see how that looks. And the idea is we're getting the recipe, the target that we want to hit, and then we'll start mass conversion on all of the assets. And so that's going to be a pretty crazy process to do that. So that's so that's just an update on the art. We're very, very early on, but I think it's looking great. And lights, Willow, yes. Yeah, I think we shared the time of day. Oh, actually, we only shared the evening time of day. We've got some tests going on with nighttime. I don't like the color so much, but definitely lights in the windows. Workers, architect, yes, workers, terrain, trees, grass, ponds, everything like that. Mountains will all get a refresh as well. So that's where we're going. Aren't they high resolution so our phone will lag? Kim down. One of the things that we're looking at is really, and that's a great point. Early on, there was this idea we could just totally revamp and completely just strip out all of the art in the game. And having been through this a number of times in various games before, web and mobile, I know that if you do that, 2 things happen. One is you increase the production time for the art. So instead of taking a few days, some pieces of art now take a week or more. Then the other thing is you put a really heavy burden on the processors on whichever device you're running on. If it's your laptop, or your phone. So we're going to be working while we're working up the filing out this art and the shape and size, and we'll also be looking at poly density and texture complexity, so that we can really focus on keeping keeping the look being clean, but also keeping performance high. And as you know, we also have the other challenge is that we're going to be expanding the town size dramatically. So that's another reason we're going to be very, very careful on that. And Graphics, we probably won't go into that level of detail. It's all general picture there. So that's the art update. We'll just continue to roll it out, more and more pieces as we go forward. What's next, Michelle?
Speaking of, getting stuff in game and play tests, I can cover that.
Yes.
All right. Why not? Cool. So as I'm sure you all are pretty excited about, we're getting very, very close to a public playtest with all of you. Well, not all of you. As you could see by Sagemaker's super official allow list, there will be an allow list for the first public playtest, and we'll continue to expand that list out as it goes. There's really a part of me that just wants to use that list and keep it going from there, but I think we'll probably use a little bit of a different method. But just want to say that, we're going to have those expanding playtests, and we've already started. So with the Townstar team, we've been testing the last couple weeks, and that's been really fun, and we've gone through a lot of iterations there. We've also begun testing with the whole Gala team. So that's pretty exciting. We have it open to the Gala team to play, and we're doing larger timed play tests there as well to try and, find bugs that might only come as more players play at the same time. And that's why we're excited to kick off our public playtest hopefully next week. On the 31st is what we're targeting, just as we have been saying. And the goal is to get enough people to play where we can test to find the bugs that we want to find, but a limited enough test that it's not something too crazy where if you play test with too many people right off the bat, you might end up with a lot of people confused or grumpy that something doesn't work, where it's one small bug that you could have fixed that could have helped everybody. And so that's why we do these expanding circles of playtests. And so, so we'll be announcing who can play in each playtest There will be allow lists, but again, probably won't be using the list that Sagemaker threw out.
Yeah, that's okay.
And then another thing that I know people are probably curious about, what will be in each test? So right now, knowing that this is our first play test, we won't have everything in yet. We know we still have known bugs from our tests. We know we still have features that are coming in the next week or 2 weeks. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have bugs and as well as features that we're planning on working on split into clumps so that we can make sure that we're tackling like known chunks of work, so that every single test we put out has a known set of things, kind of like a live game, a known set of things that we're putting into the game, that are the most important things to come next. So we have those chunks of things that we're planning to work on over the next week or two, which is exciting because it means that we have a known list of work that we want to hit where we really consider this playtest complete. And that list is a manageable list that all of us on the team can wrap our head around. So really exciting time, because that list when we started, months ago was almost, it looked impossibly long. So that's pretty cool. I don't know, Sagemaker, do you want me to go into a little bit of the actual things that will be?
Yeah.
Cool.
Cover that. Give people, and just before you jump into that, one of the things I just want to just double check and share, the temptation sometimes as you're making a game is to save it all up, keep it really tight, close to the vest, and then unleash it on the world. And that's cool. But that usually adds an extra level of delays and time as you're trying to get every little tiny spit and spot perfect. What we're doing in this one is we are going the opposite, kind of adopting that mindset of release early and often, knowing that we're not going to be perfect, but knowing that by sharing it with you guys, we not only find weird bugs that we don't get, but also we get polish ideas, we get new kind of fixes. Someone shared a interface optimization last week that I thought was really cool. So we figured we'd pull you guys into the process early, in a manageable way, and then we'll just keep rolling it out. So there's a lot of thought gone into this process, and Mysterious is going to share a little bit more detail. So go ahead.
Yeah, and I saw that question. Will playtest be NDA'd? Can you stream if you get in? You can totally stream. We want you to share what's going on, just knowing that we haven't fixed all the bugs. And if things break, we're gonna work as quickly as we can to fix those and keep putting out playtest after playtest, so that we can keep to improve it rapidly, quickly. And so feel free, stream, share in our excitement. We're really excited to get this out to all of you. So that's pretty cool. And so what we've been focused on, which you'll see, is the basic gameplay. We like to talk about it as the happy path testing, but it's like, if as a typical user, how would you play this game, and are all the things in there that is needed for that? So things like basic gameplay are obviously going to come first, as well as we want to make sure things like precision placement, Geary tokens, and inventory are all worked out, daily challenges. So those are the things that we're focused on right now. What's really exciting is all the work that's gone on the Geary side. I still think that one of the most exciting things about Gala is the fact that we have our own layer 1 blockchain, and how much is that it's going to unlock for all of our games. And the fact that Townstar gets to be, one of our first games on the Geary blockchain that we can use. So that's something else that we're focused on, getting into the game early so that we make sure everything works seamlessly. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, getting a daily challenge so that there's a challenge that you can work towards, and obviously that's going to be how you earn with placed NFTs. So we want to get that working quickly as well. Play to earn will be coming back. Another thing, the next kind of group of features is fast forward while you're offline. So right now, if you leave and come back, you won't see it fast forwarding. That's something that's really exciting about Godot. It's a big change. We wanted to get the game working first and then focus on the fast forward. So that's the kind of the next bucket. Making sure that all of the NFTs that you already have are in there. There are a lot of NFTs, both fungible tokens as well as non-fungible tokens. So we'll be getting those. And then also making sure we have the bridging and Geary distribution in place so that you can bridge all your stuff. that way you can bridge it to ETH back into Geary. All of that is currently being worked on and tested as we speak. And then the other thing is, we've talked about earnings a bit. We want to turn on earnings, but we want to make sure that there are no bugs in that. So what we're going to do is we're going to complete the distribution calculation first so that we can make sure we can monitor that for a period of time and make sure that it's all accurate. And then we'll turn on earning after we've validated that all of the calculation is accurate. So that's pretty cool. And then finally, after that, the next bucket of features is making this work on mobile. You know, we want to make sure this works really well on mobile, something that Townstar Live never really accomplished. It kind of worked for a lot of people, but some people, depending on phone or whatever it was, it definitely didn't work. So we want to really focus on mobile, leaderboards, and then, yeah, the competition mode is with the leaderboards. So making sure we can run competitions. That was a lot of stuff I just covered. I want to just say one thing really fast, which is that if you're worried about competitions, don't worry. For Townstar Live, we still have 2 more planned in February. So we won't be switching to Godot competitions next month. So continue to expect that as normal. And that's why we're okay with this coming, as one of the later buckets. Not to say that it's not important, but just that we already have those planned for Townstar Live. So keep expecting that over the next month. Catching up on comments. Did I miss anything?
No, I was just going to add a point there. You Truck Tonker raised it. You shared it. We're going to keep Townstar Live going in parallel while we are testing on the Godot version, and then we'll announce and talk about a transition period for it. The idea will be we'll keep it running for at least a little while, kind of put it in maintenance mode as everybody kind of makes their way over, and then eventually we will turn it off. One of the things to note, though, is unlike maybe other games that everybody has played and or made that's here on this chat, you'll be able to take your NFTs with you. So don't worry about losing any of your NFTs that you've been playing with in Townstar Live, because that's the whole purpose of this cool Web3 thing that we're all involved with. So look for that.
Yeah,
we'll share more of that when we get close to that point. Go ahead.
And I see a comment from Sanoski. I think that's how you said it. NFT exploits. That's something we learned a lot about in the first version of Townstar, making sure that people can't double earn. So all of that learning will carry over into Townstar, the new version of Townstar. So no worries there.
Yeah, the other piece for everybody who's just joining us, or rejoined us recently, we haven't talked about this a lot in the last couple of weeks, but one of the reasons we changed to this new platform, new engine, Godot, is because of cheating. And Godot itself doesn't solve the cheating problem, but when we brought Townstar onto Godot, we also changed the architecture. Townstar Live is client authoritative, which means you guys, anybody wants to go ahead and hack their web client and just say, hey, give me this NFT. It's kind of like, okay. We've had to put a lot of stuff in place to try to combat that. With Godot, it's server authoritative. So if someone tries to hack the client, their server says, no, thank you. And we just continue on. So that will really help, help cut down on cheaters and hackers. I mean, there's always going to be those guys, nefarious actors in the ecosystem, but this just makes it easier for us as a team and makes it better for players.
Yeah, in fact, there's some interesting bugs this week with the that we fixed with the where the server approves. Whenever you go to place like a wheat field or whatever, it says, "Hey, server, can I please do this?" And I had put some. Anyway, yeah, it's a good system. You always got to tread the line between sharing too much, but yeah. It's fun.
King Drac, are you guys going to use the same broken ledger? Why? Whatever are you talking about as a broken ledger? Actually, it's all new code. All new code. It's a completely different system, so we don't have to have that old ledger of truth involved. Other questions? Yeah,
let's celebrate that.
All right,
we're gonna end that with an exclamation point.
Any other questions before we move on to more sharing? Ledger of Truth in the Town Star Graveyard. Yes, that's true. So Tubbs feature requests. Maybe Michelle, we should also make a feature requests channel as well. I guess we actually have some feedback and other ones, so I'll let you sort out where we get people to put stuff. Obviously, you guys are going to come up with a ton of ideas, and oh my goodness, there's going to be way more than we can do as a team. But we still want to hear them because we say the best ideas can come from anywhere. It's our job as game makers to find them, bring them into the game, and share them with everybody.
Definitely. I will make sure that there's a form set up so that everybody can put in feature requests and all of that. We'll get all the information.
So
Kingdrack, Jimmy, yes, boy, I love Jimmy. Mal's got some great ideas for Jimmy.
I'm seeing a question from NFT Drops. Will we have the option to bridge a batch of NFTs at once and not one at a time? So one thing I want to comment on there is bridging, is important right now because we don't have as much in terms of, a marketplace where you can buy and sell and trade NFTs on Gala's blockchain. And so there is more of a need to bridge in and out items. As time goes on, I have a feeling that bridging out to Ethereum will be much less necessary and won't happen as often. In terms of will we batch bridge NFTs, that's not really a decision that the Townstar team is making. And so if that functionality becomes available, we will definitely use it. But I don't know of any plans right now to bridge multiple items at the same time. And I know that bridging is something that we want to be really careful with as a Gala team because bridges, tend to be a place of vulnerability. So really making sure that everything we do is safe and secure, I think, is the top priority for the Gala team right now.
Yeah, there's a high anxiety factor there on bridging, right? Everybody has their hard-earned NFTs and they're kind of throwing it into the bridge machine. So that's to echo what Mysterious says, taking that very, very seriously. Man.
See another one. When is the swap happening? Yeah. So we are just for everybody else, the swap. That's a question about, as Benefactor announced, we'll be doing a swap for 2 town to 1 Gala. That work is ongoing. It will exist in the Gala platform. Should be really easy to use. And so the plan, as was stated, was to finish that within 60 days of that announcement. So in the next month and a half, that will be live, and you'll have 6 months to swap. So there will be no time sensitivity to it. You can swap whenever you want over a long period of time, and it will be very, very easy, seamless, straightforward. So no worries there. And yes, it will be happening in the next month and a half.
And that swap amount, 2 town gets you 1 Gala.
Correct.
There was another note somebody brought up. Let's see. How will the offline roll forward handle deadlock, i.e. the warehouse is full and not enough to sell anything? It'll stop. It'll just pause as if the game was running. So that's part of the reason you need to come back and check on your town and not just let it sit and run for days and days and days.
Yeah, that's exactly how it'll work. The way it runs offline is exactly how it runs when you're connected. I ended that on an up note. That's the end.
Yeah. Let me, gosh, I can't remember your name, Rune Guy, RTS Gamer. Let Mysterious and I go back and check on that bridge, group bridge. I know in the past that wasn't an option, but I'm getting the fees that are going to pile up for everybody. So let us check on that and get back to everybody, or double check on that. Other questions? Did we miss any? Did anybody see any questions we might have missed? Elmo, any info on getting a larger farm? Well, what we'll do is first version, we're going to just release as is, same size. Remember the idea and the concept was get to parity of what Townstar Live is, plus a little bit more. You're going to see some cool new things in there. And then we'll look at expansions of town size and all the other cool stuff that we can do now that we have this ginormous map that we can run on.
And Sagemaker, the ETH-based NFTs will still work inside Godot, right? If people haven't switched them over to Gala. Yeah, perfect.
They'll still work. They just won't be able to earn though. So you want to, we will want to try to get that conversion to happen as soon as possible. And the other piece
about things like skins, where it's a lot of items that you can continue to use them on ETH without bridging. It should be totally fine.
Yeah, there you go. And then the other piece is once you're in a Jury in the Jury NFT, that's when you get the cool stuff like level ups and things that we've talked about in the past. Batching, 300 more. Peter, great note. I saw somebody else saying they have 68. Griffey, yeah. We'll definitely look at that for you guys. I get what you're talking about very, very clearly. Any other questions before we move on? Michelle, Mal, are you seeing anything?
See something about rent systems. I believe we've said we'd talk about that later on. I suppose we can say that again.
Yeah, we're not gonna. We're not. Lots of ideas on renting, but we're not going to share that right now. That'll come later. Everybody did get the update and see the roadmap that we put together. I think the benefactor shared it. You can drop it again here. Let me find it real quick. I'll share it out with you guys. There you go. We'll keep updating this as we go forward. You can take a look at that and see what it is. Kind of just outlines what we've got going on for the next month.
Anybody have any other live questions here in the chat before we move on?
I think we can keep going.
Let's see, what do we even have next here? I think we're moving on to leaks if we have any.
I have one. I don't even know if you count it as a leak. It's just fun news. Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Leak in the chat. There you go. There's your leak. You got it.
Nice.
No, all right. So, we've been doing this thing where if you play for 10 days, or if you run your node, we give you an NFT. Those are common and uncommon NFTs. And they're a lot of fun. We try to pair them with metas that are coming so that they're usable very quickly in game and helpful. But what we realized is that we love our players that are coming back every day to play with us. And so we decided that we're going to do another rarity of the NFT. And if you come back all 30 days, you'll get that additional NFT. Or not all 30 days, every day in a month. You'll get that additional NFT. So we're going to reward our most loyal players, just kind of a fun way. I think it's really cool to be in this Web3 space where we can give out things with ownership to our players, especially when they're playing the game and having fun and participating. And so this is just one way we want to do that. So that's a fun new thing coming. That's actually going to start in February. So start playing day one, because if you miss a day, you won't be getting that NFT, but it will reset every month. And so you can always try again next month if that happens. Please don't miss family vacations or important life events to get your retention NFT or your playing every day of the month NFT. But just a fun way to keep rewarding our community of players. So and don't worry about playing 30 days in February. 30 days was something for some reason in my brain. There are 30 days every month. That is just false. Don't change your calendars. But seems like people like the idea.
I think it's an awesome idea. I'm not sure how I'm going to play 30 days in February, but I'm up for the challenge.
Okay, Mel. That's my fault. I take full responsibility.
You can always try, though.
Musashi, so good. Yeah, if anybody manages to play 30 days in February, we might have a special NFT for you.
We have a bug that we need to fix.
In order to do that, you'd have to like fly across the international date line multiple times. It sounds like a hassle.
That's interesting.
I like that. Maybe if you fly in a rocket ship faster than the speed of light, that could work. Just make sure you're going the right way around the Earth.
Yeah, otherwise you'll lose days. That would be even
Otherwise,
worse.
you'll lose days, and it would be an expensive way to lose days.
And then you won't get an NFT.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, I feel like
and
Mal,
yes,
did you
playing 10
also
days
have a
does
fleet?
still earn an NFT, Cam. Just to follow up on that, there will still be the 10-day NFT, and if you play 10 days and you play every day, you get both NFTs.
Yeah, Mal, I have your name down for leaks here on my agenda, but I don't remember if you actually had any leaks or if I just wrote your name down assuming that you had leaks.
Do have leaks. I have an interesting leak, and we're all going to be happy and get through this together. Because for a long time now, I've played Townstar like a lot of people here. And it's that certain point, it just happens. It's all done. You've got all the money, and it just keeps going up and up and up, and you can't spend it on anything. We're speaking of in-game cash. So what you do when you've got big wads of cash? Well, at the moment, nothing. It's literally, if you want to do a rearrange, it's good for that. Wages, sometimes it depends what it is on wages, but most of the time there's spare cash. And there's that period of a couple of days where it's just like, there's no more excitement really anymore, is there? You're just trying to like fight those few brackets and you can't really do much. You've tweaked, maybe you can tweak, but gets you to that point, doesn't it? So I'm just so happy, and we're all going to be happy and get through this together, because we're going to have the research center added into the game. Okay, it's going to be spelt with the British spelling, center. We're just going to cover that now. I don't care. The research center, right? And this building is going to craft buffs. Okay. Now, there's not going to be a unit walking around with some odd thing in his hand that needs to go in a buff storage. We're just talking in the sense of you're going to buffs, not buffs, buffs. Going to be crafting buffs. Yes, Willow, buffs, big buffs. So you put the building down like you would any normal building. You've got your 4 crafts in there like you do in buildings. But only these are buffs, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and we'll get into sort of that. But the idea being, at the moment, this isn't the V1. We're not even going to call this the V1 because there's so much we can do with this. But right now, this is just it's going in soon. So I've just had confirmation from our amazing engineer. They're all amazing. But one has been working extra hard for me and all of us. So we all just say thank you. I don't know his Discord name, and that saddens me. But we'd all give him a shout out. But he assures me we can have the research center in because I want you to play with it a little bit in practice. But of course, it's going to be in for the 2 metas in February. Now we're going to talk about that as well. But someone asked for an example of a buff. I'm getting there. Maybe I'm taking too long, Chris. Is that what you're telling me? All right, 4 buffs. So the idea is you'd have probably 3 that are sort of individualized. So very, specific to the meta. It's at the first thing, it's going to be unit speed. Okay, so it's going to be buffs that are specific to things in the meta, hopefully. Just depends on how hard it is to change. We're still on the play canvas engine, so just bear with us. But this is just how we test it and get it in and get a feel for it. So, yeah, so unit speed, there we go, buff it, yes. So let's just say it was a meta that had lots of windmills, for example, and you can get, there's a windmill buff, there's maybe a crop buff, there's maybe ranches if it's got animals in. It's obviously, we know how it works. It's specific in that sense, but you can go and spend the cash that is building up. And the idea is it's supposed to be something you can get excited for, you know, on like day 2, day 3, day 4 kind of feeling. It's not like, oh, I've included it in me 4-hour rush and my whole town's done and I've bought me buffs. That's not the point. The idea is it's something to be excited for and sort of give you something to reach towards to up your game a bit, you know, mid-game to end game. Now, the fourth one, I feel like it needs to be a big, beefy buff. You know, one of those that get you real excited. So I like the idea of having sort of 3 and then a big one. 3 individual, 1 big one, like a global buff. Or maybe it's something like the first 3 are 20%, 25% on whatever, and then it's 80% on the big one. Right? The big one, yeah. That's right, DeFi. So you sort of know that there's that nice drive of excitement. Like once you get that, your town is just going to turn into this insane thing going on, production rates going wild, which is an important thing I want to note because it adds that aspect of strategy. You know, do you have to now prepare for when the rates go up? What can you now remove as you unlock these things? Because you buy them individually. And they stack with each other, by the way, and they stack with all your other buffs. Okay? So if you've got other buffs for unit speed, and you get these buffs, well, they stack with them, and then you get the big buff, well, it stacks with that. So the buffs are nice in that sense. They're not going to be like, oh, you have to pick, and you're not going to stack, and if you've got such and such, don't have to worry about that. And I just want to say now, there's going to be a time of learning because it's difficult because there's different stages, and when buffs, you know, I don't want it to be like, oh, well, everyone just ignores the other 3, just gets the one big one. You know, I kind of want people to want them all, or at least 1 or 2, or sort of get one and the big one. I want to really make that an exciting feature. But of course, there's a massive space of what else we can do. But for now, it's going to be 4 craftable buffs. There's going to be a big one, and then there'll be 3 very tailored ones to the meta. It's going to be big cash. So if there's a cash boost in the meta, you can imagine, since people, I think you see like $1 billion in-game cash and stuff like that a couple of days in, it gets like, you really do want that like nice big chunky prices, but there's also ingredients. Now, in the first version, I wanted points if I could, but that's a bit of extra work. So you could sacrifice a couple of hours worth of points and cash. But for now, we're going to do cash and ingredients. The point isn't, again, that these are like just super quick, give me it now. You know, there might be, I don't know, 50 oakwood as part of the cash and then 50 oakwood, you know, something random in that sense. The unit's got to go and get them. But this should be going in the next release. So you can start practicing in the sense of just getting a feel helps me as well. If it's just like absolute turmoil or they don't make sense or it's not right, we get a nice feel in that. But we're going to have 2 metas in February, right? Of course, we've just said that. But I'm not going to change the meta, okay? You're going to have the same meta twice. And that's because I really, really want to see how the progression with the buffs in, because you've got to learn the meta, you've got to give the whole, get the planning in and do all of that, and then try and figure out what the hell buffs have just done when you've incorporated them. So I want you to have like at least a second run, okay? And it's just much easier in that sense. It allows us to focus on these things. Yes, Willow, it's going to remain unchanged. So you get to practice every single day in February with a reason, because the 2 metas are going to stay the same, so you don't have to worry about all of that.
And you'll get an NFT if you play every day, if you practice every day. That's
exactly.
a plus.
So just practice every day, and you're going to be great. You're going to have a great time, because we're going to be happy and get through this together. So the research center, look forward to it. It's going to have some new construction templates as well. Not too crazy, just not the same 10 energy, 10 lumber, you know, the usual, none of that usual stuff. I've been kind, there is no road. You can place it, and there's no shade. It's not supposed to be a building you need to wiggle in. The idea is you just place it down and use it. Okay, and what's in there is the good stuff for the mid game and the late game. And there's tons of ideas. So just look forward to those as we move forward. This is just a taste, a very early sample, just a whiff. And then we're going to get real crazy, but we're going to have lots of fun.
Yeah, that's one of the things I want to jump in here, Mal. When Mal first brought up this feature, gosh, what was it, Monday, Mal? And he started talking about it. It's just super exciting because it really opens up a new giant design space that we can practice with right now in Townstar Live, but then really go hard on it with Godot. So I think it's just I just love the whole idea behind it. And it's super exciting as I could see everybody in the community. You're kind of getting the sense of how cool it's going to be at the start and how cool it can become as we go forward.
It's going to be great. I am very excited and I look forward to it. And the method is going to be a twist, an ultra twist on something people know. So this should be fun.
Right. We're coming down towards the end of our thing. Is there anything left on the agenda, Michelle? I think so. I think so.
It's just a sale announcement.
Sale. Go for it.
Oh. Sale? Is it the sale announcement? Is that what I heard? I was reading chat.
Yep, that's where we're at.
Okay, so some interesting. I'm very excited over this one because this has been one of those. I like it. We'll just get straight into it, shall we, folks? So excited to say that there's two coming, but there's a reason that there's two coming. So let me just get to it before the chat just goes crazy. Okay, so first of all, we've got the brand new Grand Aquafire. And what is the Grand Aquafire? It's another water pump, but it is special because this water pump doesn't need a pond. So you don't have to flood your mines. You will all even lose a space if you want to use it for your lumber mills or anywhere else, refineries. But it doesn't flood the mines, which is nice. There is no pond required. Oh, yes, raw. So there's no pond required. Now, this isn't going to be a stupidly limited one either, but it is not as many as a normal rare. There'll only be 1,000 of these because these are special. And they come with, and the second, it's definitely not that RTS. It's actually going to be, Willow might be surprised. So the Grand Aquafire is a little bit special of what happens when it's buffed. Okay, and I'll tell you about what buffs a Grand Aquafire very shortly. But a Grand Aquafire is a rare water pump. Like I said, it's not going to be hyper limited. It's going to be 1,000 of them. They are not 3 water drums, Postman. They give you one, but require no pond. So they can be placed next to mines and things like that. But they do have an ability to make them very interesting. If you want a 2 radius, so they go 2-1, so they have an actual radius rather than a normal water pump. Yes, Willow, if you would like the ability to have a 2-1, which is the Grand Aquafire's special ability when paired with the Diamond Water Pump. So I've been pondering. I like the idea of things diamond and, those other types of classes and cool spins on things. So we're going to have a Diamond Water Pump. Now, this is limited because, I'll tell you something. Diamonds aren't rare, right? It was just extreme marketing that convinced everyone that diamonds were rare. But I can tell you this, my diamonds are rare, okay? And I put some diamonds on some water pumps, and now we've got diamond water pumps. And these water pumps are incredibly special because when you place a diamond water pump, it then doubles the utility of all other water pumps that you've got down. That would mean the Grand Aquafire now has a 2-1 range because this is a water pump that goes with a radius when it's increased. Whereas your other water pumps, your rare NFT, your rare water pump NFTs, well, they give 6 barrels. So their barrel strength will increase. Your in-game one, barrel strength increases. So, 6 barrels is nice, especially when you hear about the metas. Anyway, we'll get into that shortly. But right now, let's focus on the diamond water pump. There is only 100 of these because my diamonds are rare, and that's that. So you will see. Wait till you see the art. I hope Todd's here with the art, or someone's got the art because I have not prepared that, sadly. But it looks great. I'm so happy. But when you place it, it's going to buff all water pumps. Okay, so if you own a rare NFT one already, well, that's going to give 6 water barrels. If you've got the Grand Aquifer, that now gives 2-1, so that can stretch over to your steel mills while it's doing your mines. Requires no pond. Still, so very nice there, covering multiple lumber mills, one spot. I can see people saying how much and everything else. So, okay. Okay, right. The Grand Aquifer, there is 1,000 of them. It is a rare rarity, and it'll be $110. Okay? The Diamond Water Pump, it's a very rare, because it's my diamonds, and they're rare, so that is 100 only. And they are $350 each. There will only be 100 diamond water pumps. That was pretty quickly typed, Willow. Very impressive. And that is correct. So there'll be $350, and there'll only be 100 of those. But for 100, did I say that correct? $350, and there'll be 100 of those diamond water pumps, and $110, and there'll be 1,000 Grand Aquifers. And remember, the Grand Aquifer is the only water pump that can gain a radius when it is paired with the diamond water pump. But your other ones will also double them all. So enjoy that factor. And because I'm not totally cruel and didn't just make the diamond water pump a pretty diamond looking thing, it also will give you 2 water barrels. Not on a radius, but it'll give you 2 water barrels just because, you know, we can't be so cruel these days. But you will be able to use that on your refineries and all that good stuff, and they'll be pumping out that gasoline and whatever else. So it does, but its main function is its diamond utility. And no, Willow, they have no earnings. These are utility NFTs. I see DeFi says must be paired. Yes, in the sense of you need one placed, basically. Diamond water pump is what grants the diamond utility of doubling the utility, giving double utility to all water pumps. If no pond, Tina says, yes, the Grand Aquifer would need no pond. Normal water pumps still would in that function. People saying purchase limits. Oh my, did I get that information? Let me check what Top Boy says. I don't think it says it, but it'll be in Gala Town and credit card for both of them. I will have Top Boy probably in the chat already, so he can post any sales limits or anything like that. There we go. Here he is, just on time. Okay, is there any more? I haven't missed anything, I don't think. Posted questions. Someone said about the diamond water pump. Yes, it's still a water pump, so it would need a pond. The Grand Aquifer grants you the no pond ability.
Lots of people talking about limits.
Yes, I can see limits. I can see limits all over the place. I see Top Boy being tagged. I'm sure I'll let Top Boy decide and handle what's going on there. People seem
That 100% is growing up high and fast on LB Postman's. Oh my God, should be 1. All right, let's take that feedback. Like Top Boy Q says, we'll take that feedback and munch on it a bit. Make sure we get back to everybody on it. we're at time. Michelle, is there anything else on the agenda?
Nope, that's all I got.
Okay.
I guess
Maybe
meta leak.
go ahead.
Probably should have done that. There's some meta leaks. I'll keep them fairly. Yeah, I'll share. So basically, think of blue steel, but it's not blue steel anymore. It's going to be red steel. Okay. And it's going to be funny because it's not uniforms that you'll need anymore. It's going to be strawberries. Okay. Because it's funny how we always joked in the community about like blue steel uniforms. Really? Is that like what's going on there? So now we're going to make it even more ridiculous and fun. It's now going to remove the uniforms. We're adding in strawberries. Okay. So it's going to be red steel. And so we're going to be happy and we're going to get through this together. So on that note, I'll keep sharing more leaks throughout the week. There will be a lowering of how much iron steel needs. So you might be pumping that steel out fairly quickly, just as a side note. But that's all our leak so far, so we can end.
All right. Yeah, we one of the things as we're preparing for the AMAs, we always go, wow, do we have enough to share? And are we getting the questions that people want answered? And then we always just go long. So I love that. A lot of great community feedback and interaction helps make that happen. So thank you, everybody. We're going to go ahead and end it. We've got, team, we're up to our eyeballs trying to get the version ready for everybody to play test next week. Ton of stuff happening behind the scenes. Really appreciate everybody showing up, all your questions, your fun memes and notes. Hopefully you can see that we really are putting our heart and soul into this for you all and working really hard. And to that point, also want to say thank you. We know a lot of new people have been showing up in the community through all the various different announcements and running ads that we've been doing. So thank you everybody for helping those new people get up to speed, sharing information and pointing them to the links and AMAs and all that kind of stuff. Really, really appreciate that. You guys doing that. That really helps make a strong community. And with that, we'll go ahead and say goodbye. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you in Discord here. Look for some more announcements and allow list notes and everything like that happening very, very soon. Thanks, everybody. And then I'm going to jump here on the stage now that we're ended. Mal, Michelle, Musashi, thank you. We had some other people that had to jump off to go to other critical meetings that are happening in preparation for getting us ready for next week. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes there.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good to see you guys. I'm looking through the community. Ultimate Acid, good to see you. Mr. Potty Mouth, very distinctive 50, of course. And everybody else, also new folks showing up today. Thanks, it's exciting. There are recordings, when we do it on Twitter, it automatically gets recorded and shared. This one, we're gonna have to do the old-fashioned process. Usually somebody in the community has a share that they'll share out to people very, very quickly. But yeah, that's, so look back through those for notes. Of course, Mal and Michelle are always online. I show up once in a while, so do other members of the team. So ask your questions there, we'll try to get to them. Peace of mind. Good to see you, Wiggler, Dave, and AMC. Nacho G. Gala Nodal. Interesting. Smoogie. I don't know. Is it Smoogie? You told me once how to say it. I always mess it up. F.A. Sailor. Welcome. Snow Bunny. Nice to see you. Mixed Bag. What is that? Mixed Bag Oh Nuts. Welcome. Stan, T Stark, I see you again. G-Dub, of course, welcome. Frugal BC, hello. Ink Knight, Crypto Yammy, yes, welcome. Good to see you again. Coin Man, it's a lot of new names here. I remember when we first started this back in July, I was getting to know everybody's names and